supervisors, 1 operations guy, 10 uniforms, blah, blah, blah. That's what you call an output spec, right? So it's transparent. But they tell you the numbers.
Yes.
An output spec is, I want you to make my facility secure. That's it. And then you build in all the KPIs. So you might say, well, so what happened? That's where,
I understand.
which is a bit like lump sum. It's lump sum and cost plus. Cost plus is okay, but it's harder because you're always showing your margin. Lump sum is better if you have some smart things in there, like so for security, things like you can cut costs on transport, on shift pattern. Like you can security, they got to cover the property 24 hours. You can either do 3 8-hour shifts, 2 12-hour shifts, 4 days on, 3 days. There's loads of different ways, right? And that's the skill of how do you play around with that margin if it's lump sum.
Yes, I understand.
Whereas if you go, oh, there's 10 guards, they do 8 hours, this is the markup, blah, 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 I'm going to make 5%. It's just... And where people get stuck is if they do the lump sum wrong. Yeah. So what I would say is, the other way to do it is, yeah, and this is what I'm doing at the moment, is that I have a management fee, okay, and then you have then I do salary plus 30%, okay. I'm not going to explain all that to you because you should have been here earlier, right? But trust me, about 30%, there's a lot of overheads, actual overheads, in company overheads for a person. We were talking about uniforms, holidays, bonuses, everything. It's about 25%, especially, so like for CBRE, we also have to give 5% to CBRE.
Yeah.
So automatically, 5% that's gone. If you're a local company, probably maybe it's 20 to 20%, right? So what I say to the client, that, okay, so management fee, okay, let's just say it's like $4,000, okay? So this is fixed, right? And what we're going to do is a bit of a cash flow. So we're going to do April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December onwards, right? Okay. So every month you've got 4K. Okay, 1, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So this is fixed. Okay. So the management fee is the profit and like the senior management, the management above. Yeah. Okay. So that's profit in there, and so we were looking at. We were sort of pitching around about 10K, right? Let's say we wanted 11, okay? So that's what we were talking about. Yeah, lump sum. Well, we're talking about what's the figure going to be, right? So let's just say, so you put the management fee, so that's like, my time as a director and profit for the company, okay? Now, the advantage of this is, so you say to the client, you only pay for who's on site. The lump sum, from April the 1st, they have to give you $8,000 whether the site is ready or not. So I think, let's just say instead of April, the project's going to be ready around about July. Yeah? So what will happen is, if you're charging a lump sum, you've got to start having this discussion with the client about, I don't want to pay you 8,000, and then you've got to have a contract amendment, addendum, and you've got to just starts getting a little bit messy. Yeah. So if you do this way, so let's just say the project's delayed, you might say, okay, well, we're a little bit delayed, so we just have the facilities manager. Okay. So the facilities manager is $1,000 plus 30%. He's 1,300, right? So for that month, you pay $5,300. Okay, so it's less than 8. Sorry, it's less than 11, right? And then you go, okay, well the project's doing quite well, yeah. So project's doing okay. We'll bring somebody else on, right? So we're going to bring on. We'll bring on the operations officer, right? It's $500. Let's say gross is 7, right? So 5,300 plus 7 is 6,000, yeah? And what you can do is, because you go into the site all the time, you're doing what you call a setting up, and you go, okay, well, actually we're going to hit this date now, right? So you build up your team, and let's just say in June, you've employed some more people, and now it's 8,000 people. And then you go, July, well, we now need reception, we now need the ops, we now need the building manager. We're now up to, we're up to like 9,000.
We build the team before the project start.
Yeah. So you need to build the team in.
But not recruit fully.
You need to build the team in like month by month by month. So also it's a problem when you do lump sum, because it says you start on this day, you need 5 people. If it's delayed, it's quite a lot to get 5 people there all at once, recruited and in place. But you can always put in people, right? And go, well, I've got a facilities manager, I found one, or there's one in my company, I put in there. So he can keep the client happy, and you've got somebody on site, and then you recruit for the building manager, and then they join, or maybe the other way around, yeah? But what I'm getting at is, look, instead of paying 11 every month, you pay 5, 3, and 6, and 8, and then we decided, when we get to July, you don't need $11,000, you only need 9,800, yeah?
And then you charge the client only on start from July.
No, from April.
Oh.
Ooh, you got to close the company then.
So you start from April, but the fee's lower. Now, if the project's even delayed, let's just say the project starts in December, you still get 4, right? So even if the project was delayed until December, which has happened to me, you're still getting $4,000 a month in management fee. So actually, you don't mind if the project gets delayed, because you make money for not doing anything.
But the complaint from the possessor.
No, because, right, originally, he thinks he's going to cost him $11,000. And trust me, if it's only 4,000 or 5,000, like, they'll pay the fee, because again, what I was saying was psychology of a project. Like, so I got a project now. This project is meant to happen in April. They will never, ever, ever say we're going to be delayed a year. Never.
Sure.
Right? It's always a month, or a month, or a month. Right? So then, when you're having this conversation, negotiating, they honestly think they're going to be ready in April. But he might go, actually, we might be a month late. Right? So it might be May. But then do you understand what I mean? So you think about it of like, we're talking now, you're the developer, you think everything's going well, and if it's ready in April, brilliant, we'll have everybody ready. But I guarantee, as my kid's life, it probably won't be, right? It'll be at least a month or 2. I've got a project that's delayed a year, and they never say it's delayed more than a month, yeah? But I'm claiming that money every month. I'm not. He wants us on there, because when it does get going, we can start. We've got people ready to start quickly. So when you do the main management fee, yeah, it's a bit easier to manage with a client, because if you get to this, you probably have to cancel. If you come to that lump sum, you probably end up having to cancel the contract, yeah, or you just get into a legal dispute, and it's not, it's not good for reputation.
Yeah. One question here, which is I'm not made myself clear enough. When you talk about management fee, and does contract refer to what? The salary of the
No. The management fee is your profit, and the management. the 30% is sort of like
Operation cost.
most of the direct costs.
Okay, the salary including you.
No.
That's why in this concept, the management fee is the people like you.
Yeah, but
are classified under management fee.
yeah, but like I wouldn't be there full time,
Okay.
right? So the management fee would be. We were talking about the structure earlier, right? So there's me as the director, and then I have what I call a cluster manager, yeah? And they cover times 3 or 4 sites. And then they have a building manager, which we talked about would be in the team, yeah? So the management fee covers that now. So the skill of how you maximize the management fee is the less time that I spend on site, the better. So if I can have 10 projects that I can't go to, so I can't go to every weekly meeting if I have 10 projects, right? I can't, physically you can't do it. And I can't go to every monthly meeting, right? But if I've got good cluster managers, they can, and then likewise, the cluster manager, they need good building managers.
Yeah.
So the better the building manager, the better trained they are, the less, like the cluster manager could be doing 5 or 6 projects, and I could do 20 or 30 projects. Yeah. But so that's your profit and your time, and it could be that I got to work 12, 13 hours a day in order to do all that work, right? But I don't necessarily want to do that. So I put the time and effort into those people doing that, yeah.
I understand that, but
So what you would do then, right? So that you can work out what the gross profit is you take the $4,000, right, and you add it to the 30% on all the salaries, right? So you understand what I mean? So you got this here was salary plus 30%, right? You look lost. So it's cost plus, right? So you charge a management fee.
Yeah, you charge from the client, you deduct from the 11.
No. Forget right. That is lump sum.
Yeah.
But we agreed that the project is worth about between 9 and 11,000, right?
Yeah.
If it's 11,000 lump sum, you probably make good money. If it was low, right? So we'll just say the cost of the doing everything's around that, right? This is cost plus. So you charge a management fee, and you charge salary plus 30%.
Oh, you mean it's another option?
Yeah, it's 2 options. Cost plus.
It's different from the lump
Yes.
sum.
So there's two ways to do it.
So this cost plus starting from management fee first,
Yes.
plus the salary plus the certificate.
Yeah. So what I was getting at, instead of charging $11,000, you charge $5,300 if it's late.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if it's really late, you still get.
But then how can you get the figure 4,000 from where?
Well, I'm just putting a figure down. You've got to work that out. Yeah.
But
So you work that out, how you work that out in terms of competition and your margin, and you've got to. But that's what I'm saying. What you do is, okay, so you've got your management fee.
your example, 4,000,
It's
mainly for what?
Mainly cover, for example, like they now owns a property management company, right? You own this property management
You've
company.
got salary, okay,
Yeah.
it would be $1,000, okay, and then you'd have the margin would be, so 30% would be $300, right? Okay, you've got a salary here of another, let's say $2,000 plus 30%
This is for your team.
is $600.
Yeah, the salary is for your
So
team.
what I'm getting, it's for the team on site, right? So what I'm getting at, right? So what you need to do is your profit,
Yeah.
your gross profit,
Yes.
so everything other than salaries, right? You understand that, yeah? Would be your 4,000 plus 3 plus, right? So you're making 3,000 plus 4, 7,000, right? Okay. And your gross profit is going to be 4,900. Okay. Does that make sense? Your gross profit.
Gross profit.
Right.
Yeah, gross
My-
profit.
So you're taking out your direct cost of salaries, right?
My point that I keep chasing up about the management fee because the nature of business, like for example, like the company have a subsidiary outside Cambodia, and then they operate Cambodia, they charge management.
No, that's
fee.
what I said. So my overhead, so I'm saying my overhead might be 30%, or yours might be 20.
No, the point I want to make here is that the case that I mentioned about for example, they are sitting at the board of directors, so when the company make profit, they are charging management fee because they provide strategic direction, all these things. Beside dividend,
You've lost me.
yeah. So like sort of business trick to.
No, but that's in your overhead. That's where you need to decide